Hi guys and welcome to this review. Today I'm going to be looking at the Iron Man 3 Marvel Legends Iron Man Mark 42 figure. This is part of the Iron Man Build-A-Figure collection and it comes with the right arm of Ironmonger. First of all, as you can see, differently to some of the others, it actually does resemble the artwork there a fair amount. The only missing aspects of it really are just little bits of silver in the arms and stuff, but you'll see that later on in the review. And then down here we have the rest of the figures in the wave and Ironmonger himself. So to start with, I just gotta say I did get this figure at a discounted price, and that's based on a fault, so I'll get onto that in a second. But first I just want to show you basically finally an Iron Man figure that has soft rubber on the wrists there, so that you can actually get good hand articulation and have pretty awesome repulsor blast poses. I am sick and tired of older Iron Man figures that, well, specifically the movie ones really, and they put the hand guard on there and then obviously you can't move the wrist up, so yeah, I'm very pleased about that. So let's get on with this review. So before I get too in depth with this review, I'm going to start off with the extremely bad points about the figure, and this is just on my personal figure, not on everyone's. Now as you can see with the head it moves left and right, that's perfectly fine. Now if I move it up it's on an angle, and down it's okay really. Now if I pop the head off you'll see exactly what's going on under here. This is meant to go straight up and down, or forward and back, whichever way you look at it. It's really not doing anything that it should. As you can see there's a little triangular piece here and a little triangular piece here, which I think should be here and here on the opposite ways, so that this would rotate forward and back perfectly fine. But as you can see it's rotating on an angle, and that is really annoying because I can't get this guy into the flying poses that I would like. Because if I just get the head back in, if I put the head up, as you can see it's on an angle. That's perfectly fine if he's going to be looking in that direction, but yeah, just, or if he's like that flying at you, you know, turning, it honestly looks great. But yeah, for just general looking up or anything it's not. So if I want him just standing up I have to have his head in that one way, and I can move it left and right perfectly fine. But if I have it looking up slightly, it's on an angle, and it really shouldn't be like that. Paint defects, obviously it differs on everyone's. So on mine I have a big little bit of scratch there. The arms on mine are good. A lot of people's arms are really sloppy. Mine's good. Mine's only just missing, if I just focus in here, as you can see it's just missing bits on the thumb, but it's fine. As you can see, because it's meant to be gold like that, and it's just a little bit off the end, but that's, I'm fine with that. But for the most part, the rest of it is really very good. As you can see, the paintwork on the rest of it is okay. Now on mine here, as you can see, this ankle is fine. This one is bent backwards a little bit. As you can see, it's supposed to be up here, but it's down here. It's sort of, I don't know, I should be able to heat that up and just push it back and then let it cool, and then it should be okay. I've just left it for the moment just to show you for the sake of the review, but you can see the extent of the gap that's in there compared to this one. It's quite unbelievable really. It doesn't stop him from standing. I can get him to stand, but that really annoys me. And also the legs only slightly warped from in the package. This generally tends to be with everyone's though. But that's it for the bad points. Everything else that I have to say about this figure is very good. Articulation wise, obviously you've seen what the head can do. Diaphragm moves up a little bit. You got nice paint in there. They haven't cheaped out on that. Forward, not so much as you would like, but it's good enough. These shoulder bits, a bit like the Iron Patriot, are sort of flappy and flexible, and allowing for good arm articulation all around. You got swivel at the bicep. You got double jointed elbows. Mine is a little stiff on this side, and also just take care because they Marvel joints, they are quite thin, so just don't wang them around too much, you know. Be careful when you're moving those elbows. And then with the wrists, they go in and out. Obviously you've seen that flexes to allow more articulation, which is very good, which you don't normally get with Iron Man movie figures, and then you can rotate them. Nothing at the waist because he has that diaphragm movement. The legs are normal legs, they're not the wide joints, so quite nice here. Up, down, not too much back, decent forward, and then it comes out very far. On mine you will notice that this little block, moulded block on the red part here, is further up on this side than it is on this side. There's more of a gap between the top of the hip, or I should say the top of the leg, to that little block. Not a problem, just saying it is slightly different, so I don't know what that's all about. I don't know. Double jointed knees that are very nice, I must say, and the kneecaps, how that covers that, I quite like. And then the feet are pretty good. You've got ratcheted up and down, and then you've got the normal Marvel foot pivot there. So on the whole, articulation and everything for this guy is pretty decent. It doesn't have the wide joints, which that's a good factor. On a lot of people's, this toy is sort of defect prone. With mine, however, it's not a problem because I contacted the seller through Amazon, and I basically didn't want to go through the trouble of having it replaced, because they offered to either have it replaced or just give me a little bit of the money back to compensate for the problem. So I just went for that option because it still looks great to me, and I can deal with that. As you saw at the start of the video, I can get him in a good repulsor blast pose. Any of the defects with the legs aren't hindering his ability to stand. I should be able to heat that up and push that back anyway, so that should be okay. And then it's obviously just a head problem, but I'm not going to actually have him up on a stand with a flying pose. So it should be okay, really. And I just had some of the money back on it, so I'm happy with it, and ended up being a good price after all that. So, size comparisons. I'm just going to put this guy over here on the right and bring in Ultron on the left. So as you can see, he stacks up a little bit smaller than Ultron. They do look great together. If you want to see that video, as I said, click on the link in the top left hand corner of the screen. If you want to subscribe for more Marvel videos, then go ahead and click the subscribe button. And that's it for this review. So I would openly recommend this guy, especially if you do want that Ironmonger figure, because that is a very good figure. But just be aware that because of the amount of detail that is actually put into this guy, they are hand painted, so they can be a little sloppy. Normally with Marvel Legends there's not as much paint detail or as much care taken as with the more expensive Marvel Select items. So just be aware that if you're buying it online, you can't see it in the package, you may get some of these defects. And on a lot of other reviews, and I mean a lot, there are quite a few paint issues. I'm lucky that with my paint it's just a little scratch that's off there. There's not actually any paint that's ran over onto any of the other reds, so I'm very happy with it. There's a good amount of silver detail, as you can see, running through the figure. There's a lot more in the Marvel Select version, and if you just want an Iron Man Mark 42, I would definitely say that this guy is okay, but you should go for that Marvel Select 7-inch version. That is a really awesome version, and I do want it, but I'm not going to get it because I have this guy. But yeah, I'd say overall, good figure for this line, if you don't mind not being 100% perfect. And yeah, that's all I can say about it, really, apart from the reaction in their eyes being slightly different colours. Unlike every other Iron Man out there, they're normally the same colour. Then I'd say 100% pick this guy up if you are a Marvel Legends fan and you want this line. So thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the review. Thanks for all your support. Any positive feedback is welcome. I'd love to hear from you guys. Any likes, any comments, personal messages, anything that you want to say about me improving or anything, how you think I'm doing. And I really hope to see you in the next video. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.